What is your name and what brings you to LA? My name is Andy, Andy Black, or Andy Biersack. I have a lot of names. But the reason I'm in Los Angeles is because I live here uh, and have lived here since I was a teenager. And I will continue to live here until I don't have to any longer. The next question is, what's your favorite lyric in one of your songs? It's a difficult question to answer, being that I wrote all the lyrics. Most of them are very close to me, so I can't name one specifically, but I like all of the lyrics in the song Homecoming King off of The Shadow Side. Next question is, what's your favorite song right now? My favorite song right now is, I don't know. To tell you the truth, I don't listen to a great deal of music when I'm not making music. So I guess something that is from the new Black Veil Brides record that we've been working on. Last thing that made me laugh, I was asked earlier what my favorite animal is, which I assume I'll probably be asked again at some point today, possibly very soon. But it made me laugh because I hadn't thought of a favorite animal. When you're a kid, I think you tend to have more of a favorite animal, not so much in adulthood. I don't think many adults think all day about their favorite animal in the same way that most grown adults don't think about their favorite dinosaur, whereas most children have that. I do not currently have either a favorite animal or a favorite dinosaur because I feel like that's unfair to all the other animals and dinosaurs. What is my comfort food? I don't know why this is, but toast with butter and grapefruit on top of that toast. It's important that it's toast, not just bread. Actual toast with butter and grapefruit. I think that it dates back to, my mom apparently ate it when she was pregnant with me, so there's something that is in my subconscious that makes me want to eat that. But it's weird as hell. But it tastes also weird as hell. I'd like to be able to tell you that it's delicious, but it isn't. It's just something that I like and makes me feel comfortable. If I wasn't playing music, what would I be doing? I would be answering questions off of an iPad. I got a thumbs up, so I'm moving on. I get to move on to the next level. Live questions. Stephanie Roberts says, "Hi Andy, what inspires your songs?" Thank you for the question, Stephanie. First of all, every song is different. What inspires me to write a song about something that is upsetting to me, obviously, is a very different emotion or a different instinct than something that makes me write a song about something that makes me feel happy. So for like my solo record, for the Andy Black record, most of what was driving me to write songs was personal experience that I had within the previous year. But in general, the interest in writing songs just came from my interest in having something to say and feeling like, in terms of poetry or the way that I felt about the world, being able to sing that and have people connect with it was a huge inspiration to me. All right, let's see here. Amber Boggs says, "What is my favorite Batman movie?" I have to say, I want it to change because I want there to be a better one that is made. But my favorite Batman movie is the 1989 Tim Burton Batman movie with Michael Keaton, Jack Nicholson. I would love there to be a movie that goes beyond that in terms of the visual and everything. But and as someone who's been a fan of Batman my whole life, I've been waiting for that movie to beat that. And while I do enjoy the Christopher Nolan series, I don't think that it has the amount of fun that the '89 movie has. And certainly the aesthetics are much stronger in the '89 movie. So that is a long-winded way of responding to this question, but it is the 1989 Batman. Okay, what do we got here? Sarah Lowry, hopefully I pronounced that right, and if I didn't, you'll never be able to tell me. Would you ever do another Andy Black tour? Yes, I will, is the long and short, and I intend on doing one pretty soon, so be on the lookout for that. All right, let's see, what else do we got here? We got, when did you get your first tattoo, and what was it? I got my first tattoo at 16, I believe, and it was this Alkaline Trio logo with the skull with, like, kind of swoopy bangs, which inadvertently looks like Hitler. It's not intentional, clearly, and I intend to get more hair put on him. I didn't realize that it looked like Hitler until very recently, and to anyone that my tattoo has inadvertently offended, I want to apologize. I'll just show it up here. I'm sorry for the Hitler hair on the... I didn't mean that to be the way that it went, clearly. So I guess I've kind of backed myself into a corner. But I would like to apologize for my 16-year-old brain thinking that putting bangs on a skull would result in anything other than Accidental Hitler. Which, by the way, if you're looking to start a grindcore band, the name Accidental Hitler is on the table. So, let's move on. What advice would you give to young singers? Honestly, as someone who, my voice is very, I guess, distinctive, or it's different, and being that I'm a baritone singing hard rock music most of the time, there's not a lot of precedent for that. So for me, it was mostly just about finding my own voice and what made me feel most comfortable. Don't be afraid to let people tell you you suck, and find the thing that makes you feel good about your tone. What team do you think will be the toughest team to beat for Cincy this year? Assumably, you're talking about the Bengals, and I don't get into that. You have to understand, as a lifelong, I was born and raised in Cincinnati, as a lifelong Cincinnati sports fan, in particular the Bengals, it is not in my best interest to trash talk or even talk about the possible outcome of games, even during the game. The whole idea of being a Cincinnati sports fan is to be as non-committal as possible, and to only celebrate when the game is over if you have won. Never during the game, because something terrible could and probably will happen during the course of the game. So, just remember a lot of just generalizations during the game. If you're interested in becoming a Bengals fan, here's some key phrases you can use during the game. Anything could happen. This is, in fact, an NFL football game. Don't get too excited. Sit down. Stop clapping. Anything could happen. So if you were to come to my house on a Sunday and watch a game, there's a lot of misery and stress eating. And then at the end, sometimes we're happy. And then we just wait until next week to be upset again. So though we have had a bunch of great years in a row, I will not comment on your question. I apologize. And your name was Max Corby. I'm sorry, Max. My apologies. Sierra Walters says, what would you tell kids who are being bullied? Obviously, this is something that I've talked about a lot. And I think probably it's best for me to not preach to people necessarily about how to deal with things so much as to be able to give my perspective on something like that. The way that I got through it was simply by feeling like I had something more to give in my life than to just be subjugated to being the guy who was bullied or made fun of. I wanted to do something more, and I think finding something that makes you happy, whether it's sports or music or art or whatever it is, something that takes your time away from being bullied and distracts you from the negativity, will ultimately become something that's a source of power and strength. So find something that you love that's a healthy alternative to kind of dwelling in the sadness. What else we got here? Daniela Villagrana. How did you meet Juliet? My wife and I met actually years ago through some mutual friends, and we did not like each other that much for a while. And we wound up several years after that. Both of us were single in different circumstances in our life. And we met up again on Warped Tour and fell in love there. Okay.